Hello everyone. I'm not going to end it though. I'll change the name afterwards. We're doing something different. To anyone that comes to say hello, I have got next to me. I don't know if I can. Hopefully the camera's picking it up. A massive amount of vegetables. Let's just twist the camera slightly. There they are. Playing with vegetables tonight, and my brand new. I'm so happy with this. I'm a big kid. Oh, it's too hot. I've been disinfecting it. I've got. Try and lift it. Ah, it's hot, 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 hot. Oh, it's a big jar, this one. Full on 3 litre kiln the jar, just disinfected, and we're going to start with, I'm really excited by this, but this is really hot. Ow, ow, ow. Ooh. We're going to start with Giardiniera. Giardiniera. I've been practicing pronouncing that just for this. It's really hard to do. What it is basically it's a fermented pickle. And the reason I'm so happy with my brand new kiln the jar, it's the small things that get you through in life, is it's got one of these. Now, instead of burping it all the time, because it'll generate gas, all I've got to do is fill that with water. It'll act as an airlock. So this, once we're done, will fizz away. Do I have Corona? I have a bottle of it probably somewhere. Hello, RC and KP. We don't. We are, funnily enough, because the government changed their guidance. Are we in quarantine? We are for another... What time is it? Few hours. The government changed their advice retrospectively, and it meant that because we just come back from Venice, we had to self-isolate just for this week. But we're fine, not so much as a sniffle, and it ends this evening, but we've been diligent to our fellow neighbours, so we've just stayed here, worked from here, and even got like food orders in and stuff. It's great, the local greengrocer sort of bringing in things for us and whatnot. How are you two? Before I carry on nattering, are you both all right? I see Kieran, Mr. Indeed, I haven't given his name away. Well, KP gives it away. KP has been travelling around. You both all right? And in case you're interested, this is my brand new airlock. Look at that. I better as hell not get the virus. What? That's not how it works. Bloody hell, hope not. Bloody hell. Yes, watching... I'm just so excited about this. I'm sorry, it's an airlock. It means that I don't have to go and burp my gases all the time. It's going to do it for me. But I'm going to stick it all on social media, so we're going to have like little videos of all the bubbles and the gases coming through the airlock. I am, in fact, a big kid. So I'll put that to one side for now. Let's do some veg prep, because it's not just going to be giardiniera. Start with celery. So lots and bits, nice bits and pieces. It looks the vegetables or the kit. You'll have to come and see us when the whole country's allowed to travel again and people stop, panic buying toilet roll. Oh, so you've been around. He's been on his jollies. Rossa, you bring him with you. Oh, rotten swine. KP, how dare you? What is this? Bringing the lovely RC with you. Unless I take it RC, in fact, did not want to go with. I have no idea what sort of trips old KP gets up to. So starting this with just a little bit of rough chopped celery. Lose the ends, don't need them. Well, did I say that add flavour? Neither of you. I kept seeing pictures of him on the old social media. It looked like he was abroad. Are they just popping up? Am I going mad? I'm friending the right person on social media. Just a random stranger. Right, let's get... Look at that, a leak from Stage Right. Use that bit. Seriously, stalker. Oh dear. And seriously, am I going mad? I thought I'd seen him with people in what looked like foreign climes and all looking very jolly and merry and stuff. And am I going mad, or is that just sort of am I being fooled by social media? Is that from like ages ago and someone? Ah, right. There you go. That explains it. November. Well, you know what? I'm that far behind sometimes. Could well be that I'm still catching up from November. Oh, right. Okay, so you're both here. Marvellous. And I know that you've had your exams recently. Or are they coming up? Am I losing track of time and space? lovely thing about this pickle is it'll really liven everything up. We've got plenty to add to it. We ordered in specific stuff. I imagine you could throw in anything you want, to be honest. But if you always go to your greengrocer, be sure to wash it first. I could do with another bowl, actually. Hang on. Somewhere around here. Ooh. Bowl. Big bowl. Right, let's get... The other reason I'm doing the vegetables first rather than the water, is because the jar hasn't cooled down yet, and I need to mix in some salt. So let's just get some of this rough chopped. So that's my celery, that's my leeks. What goes in? Pepper. There we go. Exam last month in Newcastle at the end of the month. Oh, right. Oh, jolly good. So you'll be north for a week or so. Well, provided that we are not ringing a bell in front of us saying unclean, unclean. It'd be lovely to see you if our paths can cross. Mrs. Out, she's I think she's off. Where is she? I think she's having a shower. Why isn't she getting you a ball? Oddly enough, I am in fact capable of leaning down. It may amaze you to know I can lean down and grab a bowl. I am a man of few skills, but I can lean. Actually, some days I can't lean because I'm old. So that's a really bad example. So does the job look promising at least? I've lost my wife. Stop paying attention for half a second. I have that in supermarkets. I don't know if anybody else gets that. I get sort of slight abandonment issues. If I go looking for something and then I can't find whoever I was with, I sort of develop this lost sense of where the hell am I? What, you don't be so careless. I know. Did I tell you? Oh, I did tell you about the finger. Yes, the finger is still healing. I think that one's going to leave a bit of a scar. I don't know if the camera can pick it up much, but yeah, that was a bit stupid. For training, you need more training? Good Lord. How much training do they think you need? You're the most well-trained man I've ever heard of. You spent most of your life in training. To us, if you keep it up much longer, you should just go into academia. Perpetual training. Careless. Yes, I know. There's, I think, did I put a picture online? I'm not sure I bothered to, actually. Yes, just before we were going off for our Italian jollies, I decided to slice clean through my knuckle. And then there was a nice weighing up of 6 years. 5. I didn't call it... I don't mind who called. I was a careless fool, to be fair. It was just a mug that I really liked, and I happened to break, and didn't want to get rid of it, so I was just washing it up absent-mindedly, and then I forgot that it was broken, so I sliced right through, rather deep. Normally, I just laugh off these things. I think Mrs. Al took the hint that I maybe made a mistake where I went, I might need a first aid box. Whoops. You just thought it. Well, between the two of you, I can rely on some well-meaning heckling. Neither of you are wrong. Neither wrong at all. My fault. Very stupid. So yes, social media is a right con artist. I thought you were abroad. In fact, one of the messages I've sent to you recently says it looks like you're on your jollies. Did you just not reply to me thinking I was going bonkers? Oh, so you're short of wine glasses. Thank you. That's a marvellous tip for, gifts and presents. So far, though, everything I seem to buy you is alcohol-based. People are going to think I'm sort of enabling some form of habit. So I've been so busy nattering away, by the way, I forgot to say what's gone in so far. We've got peppers, green beans, we've got leeks, we've got celery, and the next thing that we are going for, some carrots. I don't know why but sometimes it's fun to talk in the third person. It's the same as having a sort of conversation with yourself. You always are I suppose you can always rely upon getting the answer you want. And if you can't, then you need to see a psychiatrist. I'm terrible at social media, hermit mode at present. I don't blame you. I think a lot of people are. I'm rationing myself even looking at the news because basically it's sort of not helping at the moment. It's sort of perpetuating people's absolute panic. And nonsense panic as well. I can understand Some people in the UK being slightly concerned with the state of affairs of the government and things, but I don't understand the panic buying of toilet paper. Someone said this coronavirus business is going to make one defecate one's own trousers repeatedly. Why on earth do people suddenly think they need a year's worth of toilet roll? It's crazy. We're going out for the first time in like a week. The first thing we have to do is go and obviously stock up on a few bits and pieces. It's going to be really intriguing. I might actually put it on social media, just put the local supermarkets we go to, see if they've got anything. I'm so excited. I must be getting old or nerdy. I'm really excited to see what this tastes like. I really want to see bubbles. I really hope it does bubble properly. KP's cheapers. Oh, do you know what? I saw a video actually of people queuing outside of a... Mrs. Owl showed me a Costco in Birmingham, where she pointed out rightly they have exactly one individual, I think, or something, who's suffering, and the queue's mild. Everybody just calms down for a minute. There's enough toilet paper to go around. Bonkers. Anyway, what are you making? We were paying attention. Well, not like the title suggests. This is not 10-minute pasta. Excited to speak. I always love to speak. It's been far too long since we've seen you. I've been planning a trip, but with everything that's gone on, it's been to sort of take it by day what plans even are. It's crazy, but we do need to see you sometime soon. So what we're making is, I'll try and pronounce it, Giardiniera. Hello Joe, I hope you're well. We are making not pasta. I don't know why I changed the title. I'm going to have to change it back again once we've finished. I wasn't going to fiddle around. We're making giardiniera, so we're making a brand new pickle, Italian one, which we couldn't make whilst we were out there. We have got carrots, peppers, green beans, leeks. We've got celery. We've got something else that I put in and I've completely forgotten. And I hope you're well, Joe. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend and a fantastic week. What am I putting in next? And has the glass cooled? The glass is nearly cooled down enough to do the water, which is the start point. Well, we're up north, whether the interview happens or not. Our travel lodges, but how far up north? Is that in Newcastle? You've borne in mind where we live and where Newcastle is, without giving it away on the chat. You know that Newcastle's nowhere near where we are. Or are you saying that you're staying in a travel lodge and going to Newcastle? That is, I imagine that would actually be a bit of a nightmare. I'd have thought you'd have gone straight to Newcastle. Cauliflower is the next thing that's going in, folks. This is honestly, if this works, I thoroughly recommend anyone to give this a go, because the jar, I love this jar, it's massive. I think this goes off, I can't really convey. It's sort of one of those ways you sort of pan from the right. It's huge. It's an absolute whopper. Disinfected, of course, cleaned and everything cleaned down and disinfected in the oven. But if this works, I have really high hopes that anyone could give this a crack and it would be jolly good fun. The jar wasn't that expensive. I think it was like £20 mark on Amazon. And it comes with, which is how I'm really excited about this too, ceramic weights. So this time, instead of crazy bags to put all the sauerkraut in, I'm going to pop these on, and it just goes and keeps everything beneath the waterline. The north is an abstract concept. It is, and if you're from London, then yeah, anything for, well, if you're in London, anything beyond the ring road counts as the north. You know, at this point, you know, you've got dragons and the Game of Thrones as far as most Londoners are concerned. I'm making a right picture of this. Oh, I should have done the cauliflower whilst I was getting things ready. Yes, it's sort of here be dragons is where we are now. I'm just going to get a big knife, just drive the knife in there and in fact, what I'm going to do is chop far too much of it off because I'm a twit. Let's just crack that in half. Or into thirds, you know. This is the least professional outfit you will ever come across. I do indeed swear. fact, there's so many vegetables, I've got them panning off that way as well. The entire countertop is currently covered. Mostly because Mrs. Al thinks ahead and said, you're going to need more space, and maybe some more space because she's lovely. But it's really sad because RCKP, the family were doing a housewarming for the youngest of the Owl siblings, and we sort of reflected on it. And although we could get out of self-isolation this evening, we weren't really prepared to go and expose them early. It seemed silly. RC doesn't understand the North. Well, look, tell me when you're travelling. Send me a message, and we'll work out whether or not we can. Because it would be lovely to see you. I think we're long overdue. Laughing and playing games until the wee small hours of the morning. Speaking of games, I'm rather excited to say that my brand new desk is arriving soon, because I don't have one at the moment. In fact, actually, I could probably do all of this. Maybe I'll hang on to that. Because new desk is arriving. I'll be putting pictures of that up. And then follows, the first time in my life, I'm going to spend some of the old disposable income and get myself a proper gaming computer. So, KP, I do hope you're ready to humiliate me online in so many ways. You're prepared to humiliate me offline, so, assume you'll have no objections to laughing in my face as I fail in a brand new medium. It's always nice to do it in a new area of life. Desks are very exciting. I find it. I've got a jar. My jar is exciting. I'm delighted by my jar. Mother, I know. When have I ever done this? Never. It's great. I'm really excited. For once, some disposable income has arrived, and I said, no, for once, I'm not actually going to do a thing with it, instead of sticking it in a hole in the ground and then it just gently disappears. Anyway, right. Let us switch this out. Little Twitch corner. Swap that there. And then let's get, barring your northern bamboozling and PC euphoria, how are we? We're well, Joe. Desks equal desks and jars, yes. We're well. I have a massive jar. I'm delighted. I, however, need a massive jug to fill the massive jar, which I should have thought of earlier. We are very soon going to re-emerge from self-isolation. We're all fine. Only not even a sniffle. Not so much as a cough. However, we weren't really prepared to go and expose the rest of the world, so we followed the guidance to the letter, and we've been indoors very proudly cleaning and making furniture. Today, I have managed to erect a bird bath. I've chopped a tree, which made me feel very manly indeed, and I took a delivery of meat. True manly moments here. So, in case anyone's following on, I don't know if anyone is at this point, what we're going with... no, not that first. That's a bad idea. Let's put in the salt first, because I am... Ooh, there goes the orange. It's professional stuff here, folks. Professional. Right, so we need 66 grams of salt. That's actually a lot of salt. Oh, follow the recipe. I've slightly tweaked it from where I picked this. Oh, God, have I even got enough? Oh, damn, too much. Right, hang on. That is quite the sizable vessel. Yes, I'm compensating. Oddly enough, this is exactly what I should have had and didn't know it when I last did the sauerkraut. Now it's too little. Just a swat. Come on. 66 on the nose, please. No, come on. 66. There we go. We both had colds. KP is coughing. Oh. Well, that's not good, chaps. If it feels worse than normal, take it seriously, both of you. This bloody thing creeps up on you. Need the video of the... Do you know, I'll take it in daylight. There was a fair amount of cursing at one point, and this is a discovery that there's a lot of rock as it turns out, underneath our brand new garden, because we're in a recently done garden, and I'd forgotten it was there. So there was a lot of sort of apparently so much so that I surprised someone walking in the far distance because I grunted loudly, and they went right. 66 grams of salt. If anyone's if anyone's planning to do this, 66 grams of salt. What is the next thing that goes in? Now it should be 1,892 millilitres, or half a jar. We are at half a jar, but not at 180. Right, let's put a bit more in. If anyone's guessed, by the way, I've never done this, but who would have thought that the ground contains rocks? I know. Bastards. Rotten swines. Now I'm a little... Come on. Is that half? Don't want to put too much... Oh, I'm nearly there anyway. Bloody hell, go for it. Sorry, pardon my swearing in case my mild cussing, in case my nieces ever watch this. Hello, nieces. Don't just say what Uncle Decaffeinated Owl said. He thought I was going to slip there. That's the... I know, don't mock me. Right, okay, we've got our mixture. Now the next thing I need is the lid. And we need to give this a little shake just to get this all mixed in. Get my large vessel. Cooking is the most suggested. Now I understand why Nigella Lawson is viewed as just being a hussy of the cooking world. And now her lawyers will come for me. Oh gosh, this is a lot of shaking. Right. Let's just get that quality footage, this, folks. Salty water. I think that's pretty much mixed. Right. So, we got our big jar. Not sponsored. Nigella is ridiculous, isn't she? Can you make it any more suggestive? I say, can I make it any more suggestive? Go look at the clips of some of the things I've left on here. Rolling pins. Rolling pins are a nemesis. Right, we're going to pop in everything we've chopped so far and just see where we get to. None of this seems to be sinking. Go ahead and sink down. Do the rest of the stream in the style of Nigella. You want me to seductively do something with a stick of rhubarb? Sorry. made the rhubarb French. Don't know why I've done that. But as you can see, wow, this is a lot of stuff. So push that down. I'm not sure I'm meant to have this much water, if I'm honest. There's meant to be a gap. Oh my good lord, have I done too much? Ooh. This might be an issue. Oh, crumbs. Yes. Folks, I don't know where I've gone wrong. All I can say is, I meant to have some headroom for gas. Nope. This might pose a challenge, because I've not even put the chilies in yet, or the crushed garlic. What should we do? Right, face. These must just drop in and... Beef and lamb. Oh, I love a good stew. I think the answer is... Here's your Nigella Lawson seductive. Oh no. You done goofed. Mayor goofed. What do we think? Joe, you still with us? What do you think? We goofed? Stamp it down. Use your foot. Your foot's not sanitary. That's why we have these. I think the answer is let's try and just gently push this down. That's going to create a mess. Do it gently. Fantastic French. I know. I'm fluent. I'm fluent in I wonder where I got that from. Right, we're going to have to lose some of the salt, right, because I've goofed. I've goofed somewhere. What I can always do is top it up. Drop in a little bit more salt. Drop in a bit more water. Water. Right, let's just try and get this down so that I'm confident that I'll have the headroom. So basically, in case anyone's again interested in why, is I want to force all of the stuff down. All of it's got to be beneath the waterline, and it's such a massive jar I can barely show you. That at the top there, I need just a gap so that the gas can get out and then out through the top lid. So let's just keep shoving. There you go. There's your Nigella moment again. Just, shove furiously, and then be prepared to mop up afterwards. No, it's easy. This Nigella Lawson business. You just talk, and then kitchen words come out, and down you go. Oh, it's gone all over the edge. Oh no, it's everywhere. Oh, I didn't mean that. That's too much. Ooh. Hang on. We only just cleaned the kitchen. Right, a little bit of mopping as we go. There we are. Keep shoving, love. Yeah, absolutely. Is this, carry on up the kitchen? Or I suppose carry on up Nigella Lawson. Oh, that's awful. Let's not do that, poor woman. Leave her alone. Oh, no, taking the weights out was a bad move. Although some of them have stayed down, that was a mistake. Yes. You stuff that. You stuff that whole... Oh, Joe. That's too far. Joe. It's a family-friendly Joe. No, you're quite right. Keep stuffing when all else fails. Right, next things to go in. I'm saving these to the end. Some homegrown chilies for a little bit of. I'm not sure how many we're going to use, but it's quite a lot of mixture. So let's just, and then a couple of cloves of garlic. I had in fact planned to use some Scotch bonnet or some Naga chilies, but we didn't have any. So we'll use some old homegrown. So let's just a few of them for now. There's two types of Giardiniera. There's the one essentially where there's no heat whatsoever, and then there's some where there's just a little bit of heat, just a little bit of kick to it. And I fancied a little bit of kick, so why not? Why not, eh, folks? Are we happy with that one? A rough chop. So let's. No, that's nowhere near enough for that amount. Come on, let's be brave. Let's have a few more. We've got to use Scotch bonnet, so why not a few? The only thing missing now is a Freudian slip. Well, the night is young, and the rhubarb's not been done yet. Although I have noticed I've now ruined this because I've got rhubarb to go on here and I've chili everywhere. Maybe a silly idea, never mind. We've got one large green one. Just give that a rough chop. Just lose the leaf that stayed with that one. These, of course, were all washed before they went into the freezer. That's why I'm just chopping away. You could wash them again, but they're in the freezer, they're fine. Seeds and all. There we go. Right, and a couple of cloves of garlic. I'm going to do two. I'm a fan of garlic in the background, but too much, nah. Not for me. As you can see, this is technically something I think would be very good if you had lots of ends of vegetables. I've bought these out in specifically to do this, but the rest we can then use for, we're going to make a curry sometime in the week. Provided that the shelves have not been stripped of every tin of chopped tomatoes that exists on the planet. Again, why people think that there's going to suddenly be a national shortage of tomatoes, I don't know. Right, little crush. Well, do that better. I'll try it again. Oh, there we go. Right. Let's try this again, folks, because that's... Oh, no, it's not. I've not even put the seasoning in. Oh, God. Amateur hour. What am I doing? There's a whole ton of seasoning to go in. So let's do that. We have got, if anyone's keeping track, we've got mustard seeds to go in. We want 2 teaspoons full of that. And, or you can pour them all over your chopping board. Oh, God. Can't take me anywhere. So let's see if I can just gather these up. Talk amongst yourselves, folks. I shall be a minute. Oh, God, I'm making a mess of this. Get in. Get in. Right, that's sort of 1.5. Tomatoes are fine. It's pasta and toilet roll. You should be... Why? I don't understand. You know, this is not the sort of virus that's going to cause you, you know, bottom problems. Crushing garlic with a knife distracts from the man point sad. I should have just grabbed it and gone, here we are. Maybe I should have done. Maybe I'm letting the side. Oh, bay leaves. That's letting the side. I'm forgetting the ingredients. Given that I nearly forgot to season the whole damn thing, as well as, I tell you what, next time, folks, you'll see me crushing it with my bare hands. Sort of scream at them in defiance. 2. Well, I won't say 2. You know, we'll crush them. I'll crush them lightly. Hang on. I see KP. I see Nigella Lawson creeping back in here. That's pair of rascals. Right. 5 bay leaves. In we go. Try and get all of this down so when I drain it, it goes in. Bay leaves, mustard seeds. What's next? I'm leaving out coriander. You can put that in. Not so much of a fan of coriander. I'll compensate though, because you've got oregano going in. Gives that nice herby kind of flavour. I just went to smell it, make sure how it was doing, and I ended up actually inhaling some up my nose. Very Nigella Lawson. No, sorry, Nigella's lawyers are coming for me again. No, we don't put seasoning up our nose. I still couldn't believe, what was the show that she produced just after all the drama and nonsense? It was, and literally, it was like she put the name of the show in white powder and it blew off the screen as though someone were inhaling it. You think, given everything in the news, maybe you could go a different way. Who am I to say? Who am I to say, indeed? Right, fennel seeds is what's next, if anyone's keeping track. Basically, there's a ton of this stuff that goes in. Gives it that chopping board again. I have made a monstrous amount here. I hope it all goes in. So fennel, oregano, we need black peppercorns. A teaspoon of them. Or you can throw them across the kitchen. Unaware of her habits. Well, let's just say she's far from a nun. That's the other sort of habit that she could have. Oh, her lawyers are coming for me again. Bloody lawyers. Right, celery salt. Picked up our varying travels. So half a teaspoon of celery salt. Now, what's actually asked for here is cayenne. We're out because we've not out of it because we've not been out of the house. So we're falling back on our reliable and trusty Korean flakes. Your kitchen is very... It is. Mrs. Al's going to come down and just ask, what in the name of God have I been doing? And she'd be right. I've created a bomb site. So what I might do, in my hastened defence, is I'm just going to put away, tidying after myself. Let's just put away everything that we've used. Also known as rapidly hiding the evidence of my massive destruction of the kitchen. We don't need garlic anymore. That is for the rhubarb. We don't need mustard seeds. That is an end of cauliflower that's just been sat there. That's going in a curry. Lightning fast, this, folks. Lightning fast. Said you'd be none the wiser. Oh, well, you would, actually. It still looks poor. Never mind. Never mind. We'll crack on. So, tidying as we go. We've now got everything No fairy liquid, but I couldn't buy it if I wanted, Joe. It's all sold out. I'm going to try. Sorry, I can't actually see. I'm hoping I get this right, but you can see the massive amounts, if it just focuses in, all the seasoning there. And what we're going to do is I've taken just the spoon I've been using. I'm going to just try and get this all mixed in before I give it a little shake. There's in fact so much in here that I'm going to have to give it a bit of a shake and then take the lid off, I think. Yeah, that's just too much. Right, hang on. Hang on, folks. I'm most disappointed. Well, all I can say is we can, in this case, blame the panic buyers. Right, shaking away. Oh my word, that's a lot of stuff. Right, okay. That's done something. That's the technical term for it. Something has happened. There we go. Right, everything's in. So now what we're going to do is get the weight back in. And the key tip, again, is we want the vegetables compressed down. I'm realizing something's gone wrong here because basically all of the seasoning is floating to the top. And we're going to lose it all as soon as we have to drain any. This poses an interesting conundrum. What do we do here? Because all of that is good stuff I want to keep. The only thing I can think to do is siphon off some of the water from underneath with a shot glass or something. You see I'm actually losing it. I'll show all the mistakes. I'm losing all of it over my hands, basically. And I want to keep all of that in. I really do. Right. Let's think ingeniously here, folks. Let's be clever. And as a learning point, ignore the recipe, only go halfway up the jar. Right. I'm going to just try. Oh, no, that's also not worked. Right, let's get that right underneath there. This is not working. Oh dear. Try and do this without taking... What I'm basically doing is I'm taking as much water as I can without taking the seasoning. Basically, I'm also showing you very badly. Let's take that back here. Hello, folks. I'm using this to try and get water out of that. This is the largest jar I've got, folks. It's a full 3 litres. I was assured that this would be enough. To say it's not might be putting it mildly. Or I've just gone crazy and I put far too much in, which is also possible. So I'm just going to try my damnedest to get the water out without losing too much of the seasoning. So also if I do that, I can give it a shove. Get my hand in there, which is nice and clean, of course. Pushing hard with my fingers there. Really very hard indeed. Whoa. There. That's crunched down those vegetables a little bit. Fat. I think perhaps. We'll just drain a bit out. So here we are. Lost a little bit of the liquid, but otherwise that went fairly well. I'm gonna just, because I've saved some here, which is also herby water, just pop that back in there. Now that should do the trick nicely because we've got our herbs in. I'm just going to eat these. Nice raw veg. So let's get that to one side. So the general thing, I do plan to show when it works well, when it doesn't. Show the mistakes as well as the triumphs. This is an interesting experiment, is how I'd phrase it. Because in shaking it, I've also gone, and what I've done by accident, is filled up this, which I need to be empty. Well, I need it to be empty then so I can fill it with water. Let's just give that a little rinse. So we're not straining it through anything. So, there we are. Whoops. And then we've got our airlock. We sort of got our airlock. There we are. Now I'm going to try and show you this amongst the catastrophe before I clean it up. Because what we've got, as you can now see, or hopefully can see, is we've got our vegetables going down there. You've got my recipe book in the background. You've got our little ceramic weights, keeping all the ingredients underneath. And if it's not, I'll have to do something about that. And then we've got a little gap there so that we've got gas can get out. And then here we've got our airlock, which seems to have drained a lot of the water I thought was going to stay in it. But has it drained all of it? No, it's not. That's fine. So long as there's some water in there, I think we're fine. And the idea being that then the gases will escape without me having to continue to go back to it again and again and again. It'll just look after itself. So that, I think, should do it. So even that stray bit of celery that sort of made its way to the top, I can just put a bit more liquid in. Give it a bit of a clean and a wipe down. Let's just get rid of that piece of celery. I'm going to have this piece of celery. That's for me. That's for me, folks. Whoops, daisy. And there we go. We've got our airlock. Got water in it. Happy days. So what we're now going to do with that is we're going to come back to this frequently. I'm going to hopefully show you it bubbling up and having its reactions. We're going to leave it, I think, if I remember right, for a couple of weeks, I think. Maybe a shorter period than that. Wipe it down so it's not sticking. We'll leave it in a room temperature atmosphere. I'll check on it frequently. Because apparently, if you don't, this is the sort of mixture that's sufficiently volatile that it will just blow up. Will just literally blow up the glass container that it's in. But there we are. There's stage one, if you can see it. Giardiniera. Or what looks like murky water with a pair of bricks in it and some vegetables underneath it. Are they underneath it? Yes, they're underneath it. Marvellous. Right, folks, let's get that out of the way. That's round one. Oh, good grief. It looks like I have drunk ouzo and murdered a bunch of vegetables. Can I redeem this by waving my rhubarb at you? If in doubt, wave rhubarb. Is not something you'll ever find on a t-shirt. Let's have a bit of a clear up. Yeah, delicious. Yes, I know, isn't it? It's like sort of the Tory government's idea of what gets served at a food bank. Rotters. I think, actually, for speed alone, and because I'll do the wash and come afterwards, I'm going to swap. Let's get rid of this completely. Let's just get a brand new, oh God, every time I turn around it looks awful. Let's have a bit of a proper clean here before we move on to our second effort at doing stewed rhubarb, which I'm very excited about because the first time we did it we got a good result, but it was just not rhubarby enough. Couldn't get quite enough of that rhubarb tang. So we're going to have another crack at it. I've got a lot of rhubarb, as you've seen, waving at you at various points so far. Let's get that off. And we're going to have a bit of a play with the amount of sugar we put in. I've changed one of the key ingredients. Last time I used a blood orange. This time I'm going to use a normal one. Just because I just don't think there's something a little odd about the taste. Anyway, these are all washed. This is the far easier bit. Ooh. So, if you've never made stewed rhubarb before, have a go. It's delicious. And it's actually quite straightforward to do. I have now, however, jinxed it and shall make an absolute foul of it. If you chaps are here in the near future, there shall be some waiting for you. I shall not be waving at you. I shall be offering it to you as some form of food, breakfast, dinner, somewhere in between. So rough chunks, it doesn't really matter for this because you're going to be stewing it and breaking it down. But still, take care of your ingredients. I'll take care of you. That is what a Branston's fan would say, Joe. Oh, Joe. You know me, Joe. I'm not with that clan. Or I dare say, I don't know, you might struggle to get Heinz at the moment. Nonsense, people. We're not going to run out of beans or toilet roll. We will apparently, however, run out of common sense. Can't wait. Good man. Good man, good lady. The kitchen knives are... Thank you very much. They need a bit of a sharpen. Although if Mrs. Al saw me doing that, she'd remind me what happened to this on a cup and to stop poking it. They do genuinely need a bit of a sharpen. However, as you can see, I ain't struggling yet. Well, not with this, with other things. You know, that's an age problem. I'm sure Nigella and I will share stories about that when our lawyers come for me. So, I'm just going to pop that to one side. We're going to weigh this again because I'm going to have a bit of an experiment. I like really tart. There's Nigella again. Stewed rhubarb. I don't like it where you can't taste. In fact, you chaps probably remember when we went to go and taste for Mrs. Owl's and my wedding thing where they served a flipping rhubarb dessert, and I got rather cross because how on earth do you make rhubarb bland? And you two were terribly polite in not pointing out that actually it had been a fairly, shall we say, a fairly average attempt at the food on their part. At least the real thing was better, I suppose. I wonder if their kitchen knives were as efficient as this. I was about to say for a moment there, do I need to peel this rhubarb in my own head? I was like, I've clearly lost it. Who peels a rhubarb? Right. So, that's that. So, let's do a bit of maths, folks. Who doesn't like a bit of maths for their internet streaming? For a start, who can remember where I put the scales? Oh, they're here. Oh, good grief. The floor's a mess as well. Oh, God. Right, take out our orange. Let's see how much we've got. If I clean this properly first, the rhubarb water that's been sat at the bottom. Right, take it off millilitres even. Right, how much have we got? Place your bets now, folks. Good Lord, rocks doesn't. What, remember? She cries at the thought. Oh, maths. Anyone want to have a guess how much rhubarb we got? The worst gambling stream in the world. Guess your rhubarb. Wait, place it now. That's actually a lot less than I thought we were going to have. However, it's a round number, which helps me immensely. So, gosh, that really is a lot less than I thought. Okay. Maybe we don't need to change anything. Why I'm mulling to myself, folks, is the original recipe was for 500 grams. Oop. Where's that coming from? My rhubarb is beeping. No, it's not. Anyway, moving on. So, the original recipe was 500 grams. Okay, so this is KP. I've been busy reading for the last 20 minutes and still Rox has decided to talk in the third, but, everyone's to their own, So, hi there, Mrs. Owl. Hello, Mrs. Owl.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Come and say hello to people.
Oh God, it's bright.
It's bright. Hello.
Why is it so bright?
That light. Something's not quite right with that girl.
Me?
No, not you. RC. RC and KP are watching.
Oh, hi.
Hello. RC's been talking in the third person for the entire stream. So yeah, we're nearly there.
This looks so good.
Excited squeals. You will not be so excited when you see the production method, which led to... It was chaos.
What did you do?
I don't know what went wrong. We're going to have to do it again at some point.
Why? What went wrong?
There was far too much water. I followed the recipe, and it
So
just...
only put in as much water as you need there to be. You
Yeah.
don't have to put in more.
Yeah, I know, but I put the salt in, you put the water in, you shake it to make the saline. So then you got it in first. But now we're on to rhubarb. So that's exciting.
Is that the whole cauliflower?
Nope.
Well, why didn't you just put more in then?
Honestly, we were up to... I'm going to show folks. Hang on. Guarantee me. We were up to there.
Right, with what?
We were seriously up to here with water and ingredients. So I had to squeeze.
You used the basher. Did you do that? Like you could have used the...
There was no bashing in the video.
The rolling pin. Yeah, his tamper. You use a tamper.
Oh! Right, folks. I may have missed a step. I put...
To make sure that it was under...
I pushed the ceramic weight, so I've kind of done that in a different way.
I know, but he still tamped it down.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
Okay. Why not just put more in? I don't understand. And then...
The problem wasn't water.
You said there was too much water.
Yeah, it was up to here, so as in, we need that gap.
Yeah.
So I needed to lose water, not put more in.
You don't need that gap.
Yeah, I do.
This is what this does.
No, you need a gap there. I'll show you later. That's the gas goes from there to there to there and up through there. I'll show you. I promise. I have, however, made a mess.
But if you ended up with too much water, I just don't understand why you wouldn't put in like the rest of the cauliflower.
Because it was full of water and ingredients.
Yeah, but now there's too much water and not enough ingredients.
No, that's the right amount of water because it's got to be water above the ingredients.
Yeah, not that much above.
Yeah.
No.
I'll show you. It'll be fine. Tamp it down. Open it and tamp. I'm not opening that again.
Look, you've even got a bit chopped.
I know. You can see when you look back, I tried to delicately chop and ended up beheading it.
Oh my God, what's this?
Oh no. That was one too many carrots that I've washed. That's the garlic that needs to go back. That's a few ingredients that escaped.
What, to go in the bin?
No, I'm going to eat them raw.
Right, okay.
But we're going to finish with this one. I'm going to try and finish strong. Try desperately.
Can you just chop off the end of that, please?
Yeah, sure. On the bottom?
No.
Okay. Right. Rhubarb. We have...
Lord.
Good Lord, indeed. We got 600 grams. The original recipe was 500. We've got our one orange. So I think we can just play with this. I think what we're going to do is grab my zester. Grab life by the zester.
Chimento Ryland.
Oh, God, yeah.
How to zest.
Yeah, folks, if you ever want to laugh, go and watch Shane Dawson's fiance try to cook. It is utterly brilliant. So all we're going for here is trying to get as much punch as we can out of the rhubarb. So I'm going to drop the amount of sugar and then test it part way through. And hopefully, just hopefully, we'll get a slightly tartar affair. Yeah, no, so we've had Nigella Lawson isms all over the place.
Right.
Not all from me.
Are you sure? It's chaos.
It is, but it's chaos that I shall clean.
Well.
So at least, what have you been reading, KP? You're leaping in and you're in the third person or not? Are you studying still on Saturday evening? Are you engrossed in a good book?
Do you want a pocket coffee?
Oh yeah. Show you this.
Open it for you.
Yeah, no, I'll show the folks. This is a brilliant coffee we got in our Venetian travels. It is literally chocolate, biscuit and espresso. It's heaven. It's also available on Amazon. And RCKP, when you come, you should definitely have to try it. Medical interview books. Oh gosh, he's going for an interview in Newcastle.
Oh my gosh.
For more studying.
What?
He said 6 years more studying.
What?
What are you doing, KP? You brave man. Oh, hang on, I'm getting a coffee. Chocolate. Lovely.
Newcastle. So at Newcastle Uni or at a hospital or?
I imagine the hospital, KP. Or is it the uni, or is there a university
Hospital.
Sorry, I'm getting a wry smile here as I'm catching up to the rest of the conversation you were clearly all in. Right. I'm hoping.
And Nozzler and Joe not here.
Joe's been here. Mr. Nelson's not. 5 years of ortho training. Okay. Very cool. Oh, this orange has fallen apart under my mighty squeeze. I was just saying to the folks about grunting in the garden and that woman.
Oh, yeah. This rhubarb is very green. Is it meant to be?
I think so.
Okay. Is rhubarb usually green?
Oh. It has not survived my grasp, folks. It's national recruitment. So the interview is being held at the football ground conference room. I think I've been there before.
Really?
For some reason. Yeah.
Do you remember when I got lost in Newcastle?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
And I called you.
Yeah.
I think I called you and I was like, where am I? And you were like, I don't know.
I don't know Newcastle.
And so I ended up having to walk all the way back to the station past the same taxi driver. And I went up to the taxi driver and I was like, can you take me to this place, please? And then he was like, looking at me like, haven't you just walked
Past me.
away from the station and then back to the station?
They're nice folk up there in Newcastle, though.
Yeah.
Right. Attaboy. Squeezing hard there.
I don't think we could get more New Jersey if you tried.
What, squeezing hard?
No, the way that you're pronouncing everything.
It's just my accent slipping. I'm a social chameleon. It's a weird noise. Right, I'm going to try and get this off my mitts. Continue my New Jerseyisms there.
Do you cook it in here?
I do indeed.
Okay.
So,
What's this for?
Oh, that was to store vegetables.
Okay.
Just needs a wipe, to be honest. But I'll give it a clean, of course.
No, it needs a wash.
Right, folks, we're nearly there. Nearly there. The end of... I don't know how many times I've streamed so far. Right. So all of this plus the sugar, and then we boil. So we're there from 31st to 4th, then heading to Mank. Right. Okay. Well, we might be able to come from far atop the countryside where we are and travel over to the fine city of Manchester. Right.
Or they could come to us.
Or indeed, you can come to us. We can give you directions and everything. Right. Let's get rid of that. That does not need washing. I'm making such a mess again.
Need sugar?
We do. I'm going to put it in incrementally.
Have you already measured it out?
I have not.
Okay.
Which would be possibly a sensible thing to do.
It would. Oh my god. Is that...
So I'll get it. What I've got though, folks, measure your sugar. Let's get a little...
I'll just get out of your way.
You're not in my way. You're back. You're back. You're always better when you're back. Right. Originally, it was 100 grams. I'm going to go bold and go for 50. Maybe too bold. What the hell? Who dares wins, or who dares gets a really tart bit of stewed rhubarb. Sorry, we started a whistling competition here. I don't know why, but right, 50 grams. Can I pivot the camera? Pivot without showing you the massive chaos that is. Let's pivot round. There we are, folks. Stewed rhubarb on the go. Now I just need a spatula. So I remember to put everything in though. Orange zest and juice. So we're going to boil it first. And then simmer gently. So let's just give that a mix. Go on, you mix. Look at that. That's a pro swap, ladies and gentlemen. You'd never know who was now stirring this, apart from the fact we just told you. Sounds like you got the clangers visiting. That's also another way to describe my parents.
The clangers.
The clangers.
I'm sure they'd appreciate that.
I'm sure they'll appreciate it when they watch this sometime. We're all a bunch of complete clangers. Oh dear.
How much garlic did you put in there?
Only 2.
Okay, cool. How many did Brad put in? Like 10 million?
Probably.
I feel like, is there any point to my stirring?
Yeah. I wanted to mix the sugar in. But if I can ask you to step back for just a second, we need a lid. So let's, now that that's all mixed, get that to a boil. I know everything's a mess, and we just cleaned it, and I will clean it again.
Well, like you can leave that off there and put that over.
But I might need more, depending if I need more sugar. I know. So, you know, all new to Twitch, still learning, but here's some great content. This is a pan. Now this pan has a lid on it.
This is the pan.
That pan is hot, as it turns out. Here is some steam. Oh, that's terribly described. Right, let's get that boiling. Some quality production, this. Here's a pan. Oh dear. Could I get the name of the channel right? No. Can I get the camera angles right? No. Is it going to taste nice?
Yeah.
Yay! There we go. 1 out of 3. But no, certainly best of luck for the interview. Having it at a football stadium does sound like there's an awful large number of people. Maybe thin out the herd before you get there. just say you heard someone cough and sneeze and say that they had flu-like symptoms, watch the number of people decide that actually they don't want to go for that interview. I shouldn't joke, it's not funny. Shake. So yes, so once we've done this, what's the time, my love? We're nearly free. 45 minutes, folks, and then we can, well, as I say, escape. We can go shopping. We can leave our own self-isolation. Yes. Oh, that's very kind of you. We shall carry on doing our very best. We're going to throw in some computer games. There might even be just a little bit of piano playing here and there, just for fun. And we'll keep on cooking, and keep on pickling, and keep on trying to improve methods. I didn't know I'd forgotten anything, but I knew looking at it something had gone wrong. Hope it's all right though.
I'm sure it will be. How long are you gonna leave it for?
Well, we're gonna probably put on Instagram when it's bubbling, just to show it working. I think. And for folks, in case you're wondering, I took inspiration from the internet, but predominantly from Brad Leone doing exactly this in one of his videos. I'm going to go back and double check how long he leaves his for.
I think it's a few days.
Is it only a few days?
And then maybe he up to a little longer. Well,
Okay.
it's 5 max.
5 at most. Well, that means by this time next week we can do a little taste test, will you? Tell you whether or not it's all it's cracked up to be. I hope it is. It looks good. It looks wholesome. And then again, we like vegetables. Oh, hang on, we're boiling. Pay attention to that. Whoa, we're boiling. Ooh. Right. A bit longer. And then we'll see how we're doing once it's stewed down a bit. Yeah, that's definitely boiling, so we're going to reduce that to a simmer until it starts to just sort of break and crumble apart. And then you know it's ready for eating. And then you can pull a face potentially like you've just sucked a lemon if I've got the sugar ratios wrong. So, but what else have we got coming up? Got lots of things. I keep being obviously on the train all the time, so I've got my little book of ideas. Things I want to do and share with the world, and I know one of them is going to be a little trickier than the others, and it does require, I think, a couple of guests, but we're going to do it first. We're going to have a go at making our own hot sauce, and we're going to, once we've had a little run of it, we might get some friends and family around, and we'll do a little session with them, see how they all manage. We've got Korean pancakes, we've got, let's see, Welsh cakes, we've got bread, we've got sauerkraut Mark II, trying that again, make it a bit better than the first time. Oh gosh, loads of things. So sort of stay tuned, really. We'll try and make it a bit more regular as well. It might be easier once the computer's here, because you can throw in the odd computer game here and there during the week, and maybe make the weekends reserved for a bit of cooking. And I'm going to bring it's just so in case, so you can see here if I bring it in closer, that you've got the liquid forming that. So the rhubarb loses some of its inherent water. There's a nice tart smell coming out of it. An actual one as well, we're not just going full Nigella again. So I don't know, KPRC, are you getting onto things such as your computer? Are you more in the board game zone at the moment? I remember watching KP doing Blackwake and jumping onto a ship and shooting someone directly in the face, whereas I couldn't actually make the boat sail in a straight line. If you make bread and butter pudding, you'll have rocks. Oh no, right, no. I see you don't like cinnamon. One of my favourite things. But we'll leave it out for you. Of course we'll leave it out for you. If I know that you like bread and butter pudding, if you come for an evening of games here, I shall make sure there is some. That is not a problem. In fact, what the heck? Put it in the book right now. Book of things to do. I don't think... Have you ever made bread and butter pudding?
No, because it has butter in.
Oh, because it's got butter in it, so you're not a fan of it. So what we could do... Any special requests, RC? You've got bread and butter pudding. Any kind of flavourings that you like in your bread and butter? Or do you like it plain? Plenty of board games at the moment. Almost finished a game we started 18 months ago. You two aren't doing any work, are you? You're just sat there playing the same board games. It'll never end. Must admit, I'm still a massive fan of that one with the... Oh, hello. Oh, we're getting somewhere now. Oh, yes, right. Whoa, the smell that's coming off that is cracking. I saw a weird... do you remember? We were watching, was it Action Bronson on Hot Ones, saying how he didn't understand why... just no cinnamon, right? Fine, no problem. Saying he didn't understand why people were gratified by... tastes and smells of what they were cooking and enthusiastic. I don't understand why not. You know, we're watching this Action Bronson on Hot Ones, where he was basically deriding people that were saying they were enthusiastic about the way things tasted and smelled. And he was like, it's just cinnamon, or it's just thyme. It's like, enjoy.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Do you not?
No.
Oh, I saw that.
He was very arrogant on it. So
That's true.
I think maybe it was just part and parcel of that. Because you know when he goes and sees a big chef on Fuck That's Delicious?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh my god, this tastes amazing.
No.
So he's enthusiastic.
Yeah.
I think he was just trying to be this big man.
Yeah. And he was high. So that's...
Yeah, he was high.
He's high as well. So here we go. If I can show you, we're starting to really have that breakdown. Normally I'd reduce the steam a bit with the old, what do you call them? Fans. But we are breaking that down nicely. But I might get just a tasting spoon might be a good idea. Let's see how we're doing. By any chance, did you just grab a small piece of cheese from the fridge?
I did.
You did. Clever. Clever, wifey lady. Right. Hoo-ha! Let's see how we're doing. Some of this is coming down nicely. Some of it has still got a long way to go. Right. This is going to, one, be very hot. Two, should be very, very tart indeed. It is.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Do you prefer it that way?
Oh, yeah, much better.
Good.
Yeah. It really... Yeah. Yeah, it really smells. And it's much better now that we've taken the blood orange out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the difference is massive. So here's a tip, folks. If you want to try this, don't go fancy. I thought I'd been really clever by getting a blood orange and putting it with the rhubarb. Don't bother. Get a normal orange, rhubarb, put in way less sugar than any recipe. Let's put it this way. That's 600 grams. I put in 50 grams of sugar. So...
Really?
Yeah.
So you've halved the sugar?
I half the amount of sugar that's recommended and it tastes way better. You really, if you like rhubarb, you want the taste of rhubarb. You don't want, well, one, you don't want it to be bland.
But you don't want it to be just sweet.
Yeah, exactly. So here we go. Whoa, now we're getting somewhere. Really starting to break down. You want a couple of chunky bits in it, just for a bit of texture to it, but not too much. Not too much. And once it's cooled, it'll sort of solidify as well. It looks a bit sort of goopy at the moment, but it'll... That's the professional cooking term. How does it look? Goopy. So there we go. There's another brand new idea. And yeah, Joe, if you're still there, got an idea surrounding baked beans. Not quite sure how it's going to finish, but I've got a plan to basically look at the cultural versions of baked beans across the world. I've got a turkey.
I have an idea.
Oh, hello. Mrs. Hale's got an idea.
You can make pit beans.
Oh, like we tried when we went to...
Look at Red's.
Yeah, we were travelling to Manchester and we went to Red's Barbecue. There we go. There's another one. Anyone else got any ideas? Come on. I'm always game. I've got plenty of ideas for pickling and fermenting. You want to throw something in the ring? You know, if we're happy to eat it, we're happy to try it. So there we go. We've got bread and butter pudding. We've got pit beans. If you don't know what pit beans are, well, how would you describe it? It's pinto beans, kidney beans, shredded beef, pork.
It's meaty beans.
It's meaty beans, basically. If you're a vegetarian, stay away from it. It's not for you. But hey, you know, I'm not against making. I was about to say I'm not against making vegetarian beans. That's what beans are. Here we go. Right, we're nearly there. Nearly. And then we are nearly at the end of our isolation from this coronavirus business. And then, of course, Laura Murphy will be that the whole country will have to say, sugar, let's follow Italians. Has anyone seen with it? Pickled eggs. You want me to do something with pickled eggs? Okay. Don't think I've ever... Do you know what, actually, testing culinary boundaries, I've never actually been a massive fan of pickled eggs, but I'm really happy to try it. Yes, we could do a creative egg stream. Try to get KP to eat one and he never did. Right, okay, gotcha. Eggs. In particular, pickled. Ooh, no?
No. Weird.
Well, I've never tried one. I'm willing to give it a go as part of a general egg experiment. That's what I put in the book. So we'll do pickled eggs, I'll have a think. We'll maybe do some other things. I think that's enough to be honest. Right, here we go, folks. Let's get that in for the... There we are. Ooh, that's hot. That's very hot. Ooh, that's still hot. Do you know, folks, I think it's hot. Right, okay. Let's do a last little... Just check that they are cooked enough, because some of them are still a bit... Yeah, they're okay. They'll solidify nicely. Egg sauce? Isn't that... it begins with B. Oh, hello, Mr. Nelson. Sorry, hello. Hope you're well. Isn't that... Hollandaise is an egg sauce, basically, isn't it? Right. Here we are. Let's see whether or not, with a bit more simmering, we're there. Yeah. Wow. A lot of orange. Even more rhubarb. As you can see, if you're ever interested, it looks, you know, if rhubarb's not your thing, you might get put off at first by the sort of, the general consistency. It is meant to look like that, I promise. And once you let it cool down, it's, you know, it's perfect in any number of things. Desserts, I have it on my breakfast, basically. And it's very, very good for you. And these troubled times where we must wash our hands, you know, psychotically every, 30 seconds, or we'll all die if you believe the Daily Mail. Keep yourself healthy. Have some rhubarb. Put an orange in it. Not too much sugar. Right. That, I think, is going to be all from us. Unfortunately, Mr. Nozzy, you've just caught us as we are wrapping things up to our conclusion. But I've had a lot of fun. Have you had fun, love? Indeed. I hope you've all had fun. So we're coming back to do show and tell of our Giardiniera. I'll try and pronounce it correctly. We'll do just a little bit of Instagram and Twitter. We'll put how it's going on. And then I've got my lovely book of ideas. If you've got things that you... and also, how apt is this? Not for a decaffeinated owl. Yeah. Well, by the time I get here, I'm decaffeinated. I drink it most of the time anyway, I suppose. You guys come up with ideas, provided that we eat them, because we've got to eat it in the end. We're happy to try it. So we've got a couple of new ideas then. Really happy about it. I'm going to go away now and...
Bottom plan.
Well, actually, I'm going to obviously pay lovely Mrs. Owl lots of attention. So, folks, you've had a terrible time. Who's had a terrible time? You stayed all this long just to tell me you've had a terrible time. You demand a refund. How do you refund someone something that's free? I suppose do it better next time. So we'll do that. Folks, have a marvellous, marvellous, marvellous Saturday night. We'll put some pictures up on social media. We'll put up a plan for next week. And let me know, by the way, did anybody... Oh, actually, before I go, did anyone get a notification for this? I understand there have been some problems with it coming up. I mean, I still haven't clearly fixed the chat thing because I tried to put it into real time so it just sort of emerges straight away, but there seems to be
A delay.
a delay. Maybe the answer... I have returned. Joe has returned just as we're leaving. Joe, your timing, Joe, not so impeccable, but you can watch it back if you want. If you've got any ideas, guys, let us know. If you're not getting the notifications, someone just drop me a message or something, and I'll figure it out. I'll work out why that's the case. I know RCKP, you've not been getting them. But until then, that's all from us. Have a marvellous rest of the night. You'll hear from us. You'll see us. You just got a notification when I joined a couple of minutes ago. That's not good. Right. Yes, we'll fix that. Lovely talking to all of you. We'll be back on soon. Hope you've had fun. Night from both of us. We're going to leave self-isolation.
Woohoo!
Bye.
Bye.
Remember, coffee.